All right, Tim. Time flies, and now we are back. Today, let's talk about you because I'm sure our listeners would like to know more about you as well. So maybe we can start off with who is Tim?
Yeah. So it's one of my least favorite topics to talk about is myself. But who am I? I'm a no one from nowhere who dreams of changing the world.
Nice. Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that?
A little later.
Okay. So why do you want to do this podcast with me?
Uh, in high school, my psychology teacher said I had a unique view compared to everyone else. And at first, I didn't understand that. But I'm starting to understand it a little more. Um, I enjoy thinking about thinking. I enjoy asking questions. I read books, but I want to come to my own conclusion. I want to take in information and have a unique thought. Um, I want my positions on things to be able to change. I know I'm ignorant, but I want to philosophize with a friend who is smarter than me. So it's kind of about
Uh-huh.
learning and asking stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't say that you'll be doing that with a friend that's smarter than you, but it's a journey that both of us will take together. Because I learned a lot of stuff from you as well. So you're too kind. So why do you think people should listen to you or us and but you specifically?
Me specifically, I don't think people should. There are a lot of people smarter than me, richer than me, more famous than me, and people who are more entertaining. With that being said, hopefully that got some people out of the door to stop listening. Because if you want to hear a thought and just a headline and that's it, and don't kind of dive deeper into questioning everything, coming up with unique perspectives, just thinking about thinking, and then seeing how far out of the box you can think. If you don't enjoy that, then you should go listen somewhere else. Um, I want people who like to have a complete thought, who like to hear other people have a complete thought, and then kind of um, understand why they feel a certain way, why another person feels a certain way, and then try and expand on why or how or what, or just think deeper, as deep as you can think. I like to question almost everything. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble, especially in the military. Um, I enjoy trying to think outside the box and then trying to see how far outside the box you can go even further. I don't follow the crowds. I don't care if I fit in. I don't care if I'm rich or famous. I just want to figure out how the world works just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that about you a lot. And I mean we both talk about this a lot, and just because someone is richer or more famous doesn't mean uh we need to listen to them. So yeah, hopefully people resonate with you with that. And so where do you come from?
So I was born in California. I spent a lot of time there growing up during the summers, during Thanksgiving and Christmas. We sold Christmas trees. When I was really small, I slept in a drawer in a trailer. I grew up in Oregon. I tried to drop out of high school, lived in my car for a little while, graduated with my associate's degree the same time I graduated high school. I did track and field. I did a bunch of other sports. I couldn't afford to go to college. And then I found a free college, military, Air Force Academy. Met Glamis, got in trouble for asking questions. I was in charge of over $300 million in government contracts. I spent over $1.5 billion buying rockets for the Space Force. Worked for the Space Force, deployed to Afghanistan, worked in Congress as a legislative fellow, got my MBA, worked for Boeing, almost died a couple times. And now I'm kind of soul searching, trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. And part of it is real estate stocks, hanging out with friends, and just learning.
Nice. Dang, you have a long list.
Yeah. Um,
Especially for someone younger than me, you have already done a lot.
Yeah. And I'm a very visual person. And so I made you and the people who watch this some pictures.
Yeah, it's a long list. It's good to it would be great if we can visualize that.
So here we go. Share slideshow. Great. So uh, in high school, I didn't really want to go to high school. So the top left picture is me slouching because I didn't want to go to graduation. One of the middle pictures is me being bathed on a stove. And then I got an award for listening and paying attention. I didn't read the fine print on that until as when I put it on the slideshow, which I think is kind of ironic because sometimes it's hard for me to pay attention, but I do enjoy listening. I fought forest
Mm.
fires. I enjoy playing. I went to the Air Force Academy because that was the only college I could afford. Had some fun, had not as much fun doing other things, led basic training. The bottom picture in the red hat, that's me during basic training. They shaved my head. I got sunburned.
Mhm.
My main focus for going to the academy, I did want to fly. I did want to serve. I did want to do bad things to bad people. Um, but I ended up doing track and field, got hurt. And so that really limited me to what I could do. But I enjoy outdoors, enjoy skiing. I wanted to be a combat rescue helicopter pilot, but my back disqualified me. But I still had fun. Uh, the crazy homeless guy in the red tie, that was actually my student ID picture and for my MBA program at FSU. I was surprised that
Nice.
they let it go in because I don't have a shirt on. But went to Afghanistan, Kandahar airfield for almost 7 months. Worked in DC for a congressman for 7 months, and then a year ago I got married to a loving wife.
Yeah, very nice. And your life, I'm sure, has gotten much better after getting married as well.
Yeah, except for the almost dying part. But
Yeah, I mean, I we can see that, you've done a lot of different things in your career wise, and also even just beyond your career, that's why I have always found many things that I could learn from you and enjoy listening to your life experiences and the stories that you have to share. So, what are some of the interests that you have that you do for fun and that you like to learn about? Tell us something about that, more about that.
um, so I was a decathlete in college, which means I did 10 track events. So I ran, jump, and threw. And that's kind of how I've also approached life, ironically. Um, I like to learn a bunch of different things. And so I'm an expert in nothing, and I'm okay at a lot of things, a lot of random knowledge. I'm I enjoy learning random things. So we got a chainsaw over here because I'm going to cut down some trees tomorrow. I got a hammer because I'm going to fix some stuff. There's sriracha because I like spicy food. I like cooking. I like playing sports. I like hanging out with friends. I like to see how wide of a range of things I can learn, things I can do. Um, I enjoy the diversity of that.
Yeah, I think that's really one of the big points that got us closer and have the friendship that we have because we are interested in a bunch of just wide variety of things.
Yeah.
So what are
And
you busy with these days?
most of it's learning, kind of soul searching, trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. I've learned a lot of things that I don't like to do. Um, I wish the government was more efficient. And so when I was in the military, that's what I tried to do, make it more efficient. I then went and worked for Boeing, and I thought it'd be more, or I guess, less bureaucracy and more productive. In my experience, it wasn't. So I left Boeing, and now I'm just trying to figure out if I want to retire, do a podcast, stocks, real estate, hang out with friends, maybe start a new career, maybe start a business. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And where do you do most of your learning these days? Like from which sources?
So I do read, whether it's books, websites, Reddit, Wikipedia, do a lot of reading, news. Um, that's reading news, watching news on YouTube. Um, but most of my learning comes from asking questions. And if you ask the right question, you can learn a lot. And it's not just the kind of the what, it's the how and the why. And then why do you think that? And so I like most of my learning comes from asking those questions and then trying to figure out answers.
Mm. Yeah, that's really true. And actually, a lot of times I find that asking the right questions is so difficult because you, I mean, there's a classic saying, right? You don't know what you don't know. A lot of times, people are like, all right, do you have any questions or like, what do you need help with? But if you're completely clueless, it is very difficult to ask the right question. So I find that a lot of times when we are just talking to each other, then it makes me think about something. Then I realize, oh, okay, that's the gap. There's a gap in knowledge that I did not have. Then I can ask more questions about it because maybe it never occurred to us, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
and I
do
hope that. Go
I
ahead.
do interviews for students applying to the Air Force Academy. And so in 60 minutes to 2 hours, I have to try and figure out if this student is going to be a good leader in the military. And it's really hard to ask the right questions, trying to get to know someone in that short amount of time. A lot of it comes from listening and then picking different topics that they mentioned and then diving deeper and trying to figure out why. And I
Mm.
enjoy doing those interviews to try and understand someone, try and get to know them, um, and then also tell them about the fun times, but also not the fun times we had in college.
Yeah, I'm sure it really helps them whenever they can hear like real life experiences that you've had. And I'm sure, and I know that you are very honest with them. You will not be just giving them the good stories.
Yeah, which is the being honest and like telling them the bad is one of the main reasons why I still do it.
Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah, because you do this on a volunteer basis, right?
Yeah, for
Okay.
what is it? Four, no, 10 years now.
Wow. Oh yeah, because your job right after graduation for the first year was recruitment as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So do you have you found that to be very meaningful to continue doing this volunteering um what do we get the interviews?
Yeah. Um, like I only get to talk to them for, the hour, 2 hours, and then we follow up. And then usually if they either do go to the Air Force Academy or not, that's kind of when our communication falls apart. Um, so I don't actually get to see the outcome and see if my assumptions were right. But
Yeah.
there's been like
Um,
three students that I've followed through their graduation and they've appreciated it.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you have touched many lives along the way, as you have touched us, our group of friends. So I'm sure even if you did not, I mean, you can't follow up with them because they are off on their own journey. But somewhere along the line, someone would have figured out that they wanted to go to the academy after talking to you, or choose not to go to the academy after talking to you.
Yeah, that's
There's
important.
yeah, there's no right or wrong way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the topics that you are generally interested in talking about on our podcast?
Yeah. So I tried to make this t-shirt. Um, I heat pressed it on, but I ended up heat pressing too long. So some of the words wore off, but I like to talk about Veronica, which is almost like Veronica, my wife.
Mhm.
Stocks, real estate, business, solving the universe, goals, how, why, you. Um, yeah. So I just like
Nice.
mostly I like asking questions and listening to see what people say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you have very good ideas of your own as well, besides asking questions. So you gotta be open to expressing them, because I'm sure we all like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, but I already know what I know for the most part, but I don't know what you know. And so I enjoy asking questions and listening. Otherwise, I can't get smarter
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just talking.
Yeah. But you gotta get help others people get smarter too, or trigger their thinking. And a lot of the times I think more deeply about some things after talking to you, not just from your questions.
Good.
But I guess it is a good uh how do I say chemistry that we will have, because then you have a lot of questions to ask, and then we can answer them together, hopefully.
Or even if we can't answer them, at least thinking about it, that's a good start.
Exactly, yeah. I think there's someone out in the on the internet, vast internet, might have something to share with it, our listeners.
And that's an ask that I have of you for this podcast. If it ever seems like I'm just making up an answer, just call me out on it.
Yeah, same for me as well. Like I told you and to our listeners, I'm not an expert, I just say what I think, and I could be completely wrong.
But
So we're just being upfront about it.
yeah. I can make it sound intelligent, but that's lying.
I don't know if I can make it sound intelligent.
You just got to use big, vague words that people don't understand. That's what politicians do.
Yeah,
You
that's
say
true.
it, just say a lot of things without saying anything.
Very true. And well, technically that's a- actually a skill in and of itself.
But it shouldn't be. I don't know why it's valued.
I don't know if it's valued or people are just not thinking about that. Something for people to think about now. Is there
Good point.
anything else is there anything else you would like to share with us about yourself?
Um, I think you and I traded rules about the podcast. I wish I had them with me so we can go through it. But one of them was like make sure that I stay genuine. And so I hope you and anyone who listens holds us accountable. If we're not being honest, if we're chasing the viewers, please stop listening to us and let us know.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very good point, because we wrote this down on literally a napkin, and we have them in a photograph. But that's exactly right. I think we still gotta stay true to ourselves, and I mean being true to ourselves in terms of our motivations to for starting this in the first place. But hopefully, as the weeks go by, we grow in our thinking, in our knowledge, in our maturity. I think that's what we hope to achieve.
Yeah. Like I've thought about doing a podcast for a while, but I couldn't answer the question, like, why should someone listen to me? So even if I'm recommending like a podcast that I like to someone else, it's still hard to articulate like why should you value the other person's opinion and what they say.
Mm.
But then I also wanted to start a podcast where you just like bring I wanted to call it like the I don't know club, where you bring a topic that you didn't know about that you just learned about and share it with other people, and then other people would bring their ideas and then like put them in the comments or something, and then maybe if the growing got big enough, like meet in person and just share things that you didn't know because I think that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of I mean, we are figuring things out as we go along, we are very new at this. We have an idea of the things that we want to talk about, but who knows what direction it's gonna take, as long as we keep our motivations the same and our goal the same, uh I'm sure we'll find our way along the way. I mean, our style along the way.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I thought I knew everything just because I didn't read a book from high school all the way through college, and I still got good grades. And
Yeah.
then I started reading more, and then I learned how little I knew. And so one of the things that I like to think about is like if for something happened to humanity and we kind of got reset back, and like kind of to the like caveman era, like what benefit would I bring to society? And then I'm like, I I've started a fire with a bow and string once, and it was terrible. It's like I know how to do things with technology. I know how to do things with a hammer. Do I know how to make a hammer? No. So it's like it's really interesting for me to think about what benefit we would have if we didn't have all of the people coming before us. And we are like standing on the shoulders of giants. And without them, all of my knowledge is worthless. Without
Mhm.
electricity, it's like we can't do this. There's no Facebook, Microsoft, Google without electricity. And how many people actually know how to do those things? How many people actually know how to build something? And that's one of the reasons why, like, I could hire someone to cut down trees, or put lights in, or fix drywall, or do painting. But I enjoy those tasks because it actually makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, a skill that not many people have or don't like to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you brought this up because this topic gets me very excited, I was listening to a radio show when I was on a flight coming back from our vacation actually, and they were talking to this, I think, neurologist, and he said like one of the key things that differentiates us from animals is um animals, they are born pre-programmed. Like some of them, they can walk immediately or within a few minutes or hours, and then the instincts will kick in when it's time for them to, to hunt, to mate, and just the way that they will live out their life, or even migrate, like for the birds to cross oceans during the seasonal changes. But humans, we come with a blank slate, but the ability to learn from generations past, literally, like think about the amount of knowledge that had to be passed on before um, there were even written languages. Like the Polynesian sailors, that they can memorize the stars, the movement of the stars, use it to make a map, and then sail the Pacific Ocean. And they pass this on verbally, and all of them had to memorize it to a point that, yeah, eventually written language is invented, and then we can now store this knowledge for other humans to learn and build upon in the future. This really fascinates me, and now we're at this point where, I don't know what the size of knowledge there is being stored in these data centers. Um, and then not to mention the future of artificial intelligence and stuff. It's very exciting to talk about these topics, which I'm sure we'll explore in episodes in the future. But I'm like very excited about this.
Me too. Hopefully, we provide benefit to other people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we just do our thing, and then, hopefully we can only hope we do good, right?
Yeah.
Do some good. Cool. Anything else you'd like to add about yourself?
No, that's way more than I normally talk.
Well, thanks so much for sharing. I'm sure we'll get to know more, learn more about you and what you can bring to the table, especially with your vast, uh, you know, life experience from many different industries and different areas of walks of life. So I'm really looking forward to that. Even after so many years of knowing you, there will be still be things that I uh did not know about you.
Yeah, you didn't know that I could put these lights in so we could do this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't know that, So I really uh always gets fascinated by you. I mean, or like surprised by what you can do.
Good. I hope I keep surprising you.
Yeah. Well, it's really great to talk to you today again, and I'm looking forward to putting this out there so that more people can get to know about you, and looking forward to talking to you again.
Me too. Love you, buddy.
All right. Love you. Take care. All the best.
Bye.